There's something no one tells you about collaboration. It doesn't fall apart at the beginning. It falls apart at the end, after the work is done, after the long nights, after something real has been created. Imagine spending years creating with someone, not casually, not occasionally, but every day. Every detail discussed, every decision shaped together, every step toward a shared result. You refine it, you push it further, you watch it become something it never would have been alone. At some point, it stops feeling like mine or yours. It becomes ours. And then one day, that word disappears. At one point, everything mattered. Every idea had weight. Every change had meaning. And then suddenly, it's as if none of that ever happened. What you thought was shared simply isn't. What you helped build is now being described to the outside world as if you were never really part of it at all. And that's the moment that stays with you, because you remember the conversations, the decisions, the exact points where something changed because of your input. And it forces a question you never expected to ask. Did what I contributed actually matter? When memories conflict and the shared history is rewritten, you're left with a stalemate of my word against yours. This emotional vacuum creates a need for an outside perspective, a standard that doesn't rely on how someone feels today, but on what actually happened during the years of creation. This is where the legal framework provides a specific, cold clarity. It offers a way to measure the invisible work of collaboration. The law looks past the physical act of production, who held the tools or clicked the final buttons, and focuses on the preceding creative energy. Legal authorship recognizes the fusion of contribution and joint intent, forming a single unit that belongs to both. The legal framework stays focused on the timeline of events, remaining indifferent to whoever tells the most persuasive story after the partnership ends. The law doesn't ask who tells the better story. It looks at what actually happened. Facts maintain their shape regardless of how they are framed. By looking at the structural history of a project, the law serves as a safeguard for the objective reality of the work. Time doesn't disappear. Collaboration doesn't disappear. Creative influence doesn't disappear. If something was built together, it was built together. You don't accidentally spend years creating something with someone. And this is why it matters. Creators often operate on blind trust during the build phase, focused on the work rather than defining legal roles or imagining a future fallout. Because in the moment, trust feels like enough. But once that trust fractures and that question of ownership is finally asked, there's no going back. But the sheer act of creation inherently leaves behind a permanent, objective record, and the truth of that record doesn't disappear. It stands as an impartial witness to the exact contributions of everyone involved. It doesn't forget who was part of it.